Good day, this is Mr. K's and this is 31.4a. 31.4a. We've been discussing the years after World War I. We've seen economic problems with the Great Depression. We see how people handle it, sometimes by keeping democracy, sometimes by electing dictators. Well, we're going to see dictator nations as aggressors invade their neighbors. Japan was prosperous in the 1920s. Japan was prosperous in the 1920s. But military leaders rose to power during the Great Depression. Military leaders rose to power during the Great Depression. Remember, the emperor reigned, but he did not rule. He did, in the Meiji Restoration, westernize and industrialize, but we see a military government take control. 1931, Japan seizes Manchuria. Now, Manchuria is north of China, and it's got iron ore. It is going to Japan seizes Manchuria, and they withdraw from the League of Nations in 1933. Japan seizes Manchuria. Obviously, the League of Nations is not happy about them doing that, and so they pull out of the League of Nations in 1933. Half a world away, Italy in 1935 attacks Ethiopia. They attack Ethiopia, Ethiopia. Haile Selassie, who's the leader of Ethiopia, appeals to the League of Nations for help. None arrives. Haile Selassie, who is the head of Ethiopia, appeals to the League of Nations for help. None arrives. We're seeing the League of Nations is really a paper tiger. It does not have the United States as a member, and so it is just on paper looking good, but in reality, they're a bunch of lamers. Germany defies the Versailles Treaty. They defy the Versailles Treaty. Versailles, Versailles Treaty, and they rearm. Germany builds up its army, and they seize the industrial Rhineland, Rhineland, Rhineland. It's along the Rhine River, and that's got iron ore and coal. European nations dealing with aggressors use the policy of appeasement. It's giving in to demands of an aggressor to keep the peace. It's giving in to demands of an aggressor to keep the peace. Maybe if we give them this land, maybe if we do what they say, they won't start a war. In the 1930s, we have the formation of a very dangerous gathering. It's the Axis powers. It's Germany, Italy, and Japan in an alliance. It's an alliance of Germany, Italy, and Japan. Now in Europe, we have a fascist dictator from Spain. His name is Francisco Franco. In 1939, we have a fascist dictator of Spain. He's a friend of Hitler and Mussolini. So they aid his rise to power. They aid his rise to power. Here's a picture painted by Mussolini. It's a painting by Mussolini, a painting by Pablo Picasso. It's called Guernica, and it's a Spanish town that was bombed by the Nazis. Franco invited Hitler to test his new weapons on Franco's enemies, the opponents of Franco. So in this picture, you can see people in agony, horses that are crying out. It's definitely an abstract picture, but it talked about this death of civilian people by Nazi military. The next time we come together, we're going to continue to talk about aggressors on the march. Well, this is Mr. K's, and this is 31.4a in the books. Bye-bye.